Hello, and welcome back to the second episode of Changing the Game with Seamus and Diana.
For new viewers, Changing the Game is a show where we will teach you a brand new card game with each episode. Games that can be played with only a simple set of cards.
Today we're cheating a little bit because you actually need a deck of cards for every player in order to play this game. But today we will be teaching you Spite and Malice, a very slow and methodical, strategic and very competitive game, as the name implies. We are going to teach you the official rules as we learned them, but we will also be teaching, as the name implies, the ways in which we have changed the game, because over the years we've made additions and tweaks and little alterations to the rules to make it a little bit more interesting for what we want to know.
Alrighty, so let's get into it. Before we start talking about the game, let's introduce the two decks that we have for you today. These are two Theory 11 decks called Dune and Black Artisan. The Dune deck is based off of the popular Dune franchise, and Black Artisan is more of your play on your traditional bicycle deck. So what we're going to do at the start of the game is you're going to make sure that you have one deck for every player playing. So we have two players today, so we have two decks here. And what you're going to need to do first is make sure that they are shuffled together thoroughly. So we have already done that in advance. And then once that's done, you deal each player 26 cards. Those cards are placed in what is called the goal pile. And you take the remaining cards and you place them in the draw pile. There are four total sections on the board. There are the goal piles, the draw pile, the discard pile, and what's called the playing pile. The discard pile is where you can put cards at the end of a turn, and the playing pile is what you will use for the majority of the game. The end goal is to get rid of every single card from your goal pile, and if you can do that, you win the game.
At the start of every Spite and Malice game, each player starts by flipping over the top card of their goal pile. This will show them the card that they are currently trying to get down into the playing piles. At the start of your turn, you draw 5 cards into your hand, so that you have a hand of exactly 5 cards. On your turn, you can then play any amount of cards from your hand, from your discard piles, and from your goal pile into the central playing piles. The only rules are that the playing piles must start from ace and must increase by 1 until they get to queen, in which they are reset. There are no rules on what suits you can play or anything like that. You just have to be playing the card 1 above the card that's already in that pile. It is also important to note that kings are wild and can be whatever card you want them to be. Once you can no longer play any cards or don't have interest in playing any of the cards you have left, you can end your turn by discarding 1 card from your hand into one of your discard piles. This will give you access to that card later and acts as a sort of storage until later turns. If you are to play all 5 cards from your hand on your turn or discard the last card from your hand, then you actually get to draw 5 more cards right there and continue your turn, resulting in very nice long combo turns that can be really beneficial to getting that goal pile emptied out.
Okay, so now we're going to run you through a quick example round. First, we're going to show you the early game, and then we're going to show you what late game looks like. So, at the start of the game, as we said, both of us need to flip over our top card. I'll start us off, so I'm going to draw up to 5 cards. Ooh, that's another one. I drew an ace, so I will play down that ace in the center to try and prepare for later advancements. Then I'm going to immediately, since I have a king, play a 2, blocking him, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Revealing the next card underneath, and playing 1 into my discard pile. I have run out of cards, so I'm going to draw another 5 cards.
Already feeling spiteful and malicious over here.
I have another ace, and another 2 to block Seamus.
No!
Finally, I will play down another jack in the same discard pile, and the turn will pass to Seamus.
Okay, well, I gotta draw 5 again, because I don't have a hand yet. Diana blocked me pretty thoroughly, so I better hope I draw well. And actually, I did. I drew a king, which I'm using as a wild card for an ace, which allows me to immediately throw down my 2. And my next card, My next card's also a king. I'm going to, let's see, Diana's going for a 7, so I'm going to put it down as a 6, make sure I flip my next card, and then block Diana's 7. Doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to do anything else, so I'm gonna discard my queen.
All right, play is going to pass back over to me. I'm going to draw 3 cards to get myself back up to a 5-card hand. And it's pretty rough. So I'm going to play down 1-3, followed by an 8, and then finally play down a 6. And pass my turn.
All right. See if I have any luck. Oh, I do have any luck. I drew another king. That gets me to my 10. What's my next card? A 9. Oh. Well, I can't do much to get towards my own card, and I can't do much to block Diana. So I'm just going to play down this 4, so I get a little extra cards next turn. And then I'm going to discard my jack on top of that queen.
I will draw up to 5. And I got exceptionally lucky. So I have a 5 to play with a 6, and then get my 7 off my gold pile and reveal the one underneath. Ooh, that's a little rough. But luckily, I have a jack and the queen to get rid of that. I unfortunately do not have a 3 in my hand, so I will play down an 8 and pass my turn. So that's kind of an example of what the early round looks like. So now we can show you what it kind of looks like later on in the game.
So we are going to also walk you through just kind of an example couple turns towards the end of the game, so you can see what things look like when you have kind of built up discard piles, and we're close to the end of our goal piles here. And there's cards in the middle too, so you can see kind of how the flow of the game works towards the middle and end.
I'm going to start off by drawing up to 5 cards, playing an 8, which gives me access to this pile, which I have built, allowing me to get a 9, 10, and jack, opening up my queen to be immediately played.
Nice.
This
pile's full now at queen, so we shuffle it and reset it.
I'll then reveal the card underneath. It's a 7, so I will play directly onto that 6. Ooh, followed by an 8. Play that onto that 7. Now I have a king. I'll play that as a 2,
Wow.
leaving that ace open just in case, see what happens down here. Then I get a jack. There's nothing I can do with a jack, so I'm going to play an ace right here, and then play down a queen into my discard pile.
Very nice. That was a brutal turn. My turn now, so I refill my hand up to 5, and that's not great. I've been discarding in order here, and so I'm pretty lucky. These kings are 2s. I'll be able to play pretty neatly a 3, 4, and then get my 5 down. Let's see what's next. A 3, that's easy. I've got a 2 right here, and Diana set me up very easily.
That king's also a 2.
That king is also a 2, I forgot about that. 4, goes straight into it. 8. I have a 6 and a 7 right here, but they are blocked by this 5 on top of it. And so let's see. I'll put this 6 on top of there. I can't quite get the 7 yet, but I'm almost there. And then I'll end my turn by discarding a jack.
All right. Play pass back over to me, so I'll draw up to 5. Excellent. I'll grab this king right here, play it as a 9, followed by a 10.
Oh boy.
And then that jack,
Last
revealing
card?
my last card in the gold pile, which is a 5, which I can immediately play
Oh.
onto that ace 2, 3, clearing my gold pile and winning the game.
Good game. Now that we have shown you how to play Spine and Malice, we're going to talk about the ways that we've kind of changed the rules of the game to make it more what we want it to be. Spine and Malice is a lot of fun, but at times it can be a very long game, and it can be a very slow-paced game, in which there's a lot of turns, especially at the beginning, in which nothing really is happening. And so we've changed some things around to make it a little bit faster, and a little bit more action-packed.
To start off, our number 1 change is that whereas you originally play with 26 cards in your gold pile, we generally play with somewhere between 10 and 15 cards. This allows the rounds to go a lot faster and generally makes the game a little more fun. In addition, One of the other kind of slower aspects of the game is the discard piles. Whereas you're normally only allowed to play one card down at any given time, we've changed that to allow for any number of the same card, or any straight of cards. This allows you to play more cards out of your hand and maybe get more hand resets. That really speeds things up and makes things a lot more fun. That was Spite and Malice. We hope that you have fun playing it.
In the next episode, we're going to be teaching you GOPS, or Game of Pure Strategy. And instead of, like Spite and Malice being a game that we've changed, it's more of a changed version of another game. You've most likely heard of the card game War. It's terrible. But Game of Pure Strategy is an alteration of that. That makes it, instead of being 100% chance, it's actually 100% strategy, much as its name implies. If that sounds interesting for you, then stay tuned for the next episode.